I want you forever, even when we're not together. Scars on my back. I'm just like, what are the lyrics again? I forget. It's been a while since I've heard the song. Hello, it's Charles, and welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new here, yes, my name is Charles, and yes, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be listening to Machine Gun Kelly's most recent album that he released titled Tickets to My Downfall, and I believe this came out in September of 2020. And when it came out, I remember seeing it on iTunes, but I was like, you know what? I'm not that big a fan of rap music, especially from men, so I was like, gonna pass along this. But then I was informed by the lesbians that this isn't a rap album, that this is like a punk rock kind of album, like in the vein of early 2000s music, and I was like, you know what? I love that music, so if it's like that, sign me up. I don't really know much about Machine Gun Kelly, really. I really don't know anything about him. All I know actually is that right now I'm pretty sure he's dating Megan Fox, and that I've seen him in two movies. I think the first one was Bird Box, and the second one was, what is that other Netflix movie called? I think it's called Power, that movie starring Jamie Foxx and Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Dominique Fishback. Yeah, those two movies. I'm pretty sure he's in both of those movies, but really I don't really know anything about, Machine Gun Kelly, so let's see if this music enlightens me a little bit about him. So yeah, I'm just like, let's get into this whole album and see what Machine Gun Kelly's serving. What is his real name? I want to know his real name first before we get into this album. Okay, so I found out that Machine Gun Kelly's real name is Richard Baker. His middle name is Colson, so it's Richard Colson Baker. And I'm like, interesting. That is a very plain white name. No wonder he changed it to Machine Gun Kelly. But also, looking at his filmography section, I was like, oh, the movie was called Project Power. Very close. I was just like, is the movie called Power? I don't remember. It was so, here it is, and then here it's not in your mind anymore. But anyway, let's get into this whole album reaction now that I know his name. Okay, so there are 15 songs in this album, and the album overall is only 36 minutes, so I'm expecting very short songs, and apparently the first song on the album is called Title Track. He has such a rough voice. Okay, see, this is what I thought the album was gonna be like. A lot of drugs he's on. Okay, so that was the title track. Haha, title track. Tickets to My Downfall. But anyway, yeah, that was the first song of the album. And first, when it started, I was like, this is more calm than I thought. But when it came in, like a few seconds later, I was like, yeah, this really is giving me early 2000s, punk rock music. Very All-American Rejects, Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco when they sounded like that. I was like, ooh. Yes. And I was like, oh my god, moving my head and body around. No, because my hair is going to get messed up. And right now I'm just like, it looks super messed up-ish. Did I get it right? Looking okay enough? I don't know. But I'm just like, ooh, my hair is not going to look good by the end of this album if it continues to go like the way it's going. So I'm getting a sense that off the first song of this album alone that, Machine Gun Kelly has had problems in his life and that he's used drugs and probably alcohol too, to fill up the void. And he talked about using a razor to take off the edge. And I'm like, are we cutting ourselves? I don't know, but I'm just like, interesting. And he's like, tickets to my downfall, I'm selling them. And I'm like, you know what? If we're gonna go down in flames, we might as well make some money off of it. Use that money to do whatever we want, and then, I guess, exit. But, you know what? It's like, whatever. I'm just like, we'll see where the journey goes. The next song in the album is called Kiss Kiss. Okay, I'm just like, I love a good instrumental section with drums and guitars. So that was Kiss Kiss, and from the lyrics, I feel like the song is talking about how he uses, alcohol and smoking cigarettes to, not have to deal with the problems he has at hand. He's always talking about in the song how he'll answer that later, but right now he's gotta go drink and light up another cigarette. And I'm just like, ooh, unhealthy coping like mechanisms. Not good. Not good. Seriously, these kind of songs, oh my god, it brings me back to when I was in elementary school and these kind of songs were playing on the radio. My god, what were us kids listening to back then? The next song on the album is called Drunk Face. I'm back on those drugs I quit. I kept my dealer's number. I swallowed a pill that was in a heart shape. Her hands on my chest, feeling my heartbeat. I'm still young, wasting my youth. I'll grow up next summer. I'm a Hollywood whore, I don't ask names. Ooh. So that was Drunk Face, and from the lyrics, I was getting that this was a song about, not wanting to grow so old already, because it's like, we're only young for so long, so let's grasp and stay young for as long as we can. He's like, I'll grow up next summer, and he's like, do drugs, and like, should I get rid of my dealer's number? Yes, but I'm not gonna get rid of my dealer's number. And he's like, should I be with this girl? No, I should not, and I should have lost her number. And I'm just like, being young and just doing stupid things and, being with people that you don't want to be with just because you're like, whatever, being young. But yeah, he's just like, I don't want to grow up and I don't want to have to face any of the consequences that comes with, growing up. And I'm like, yeah, growing up sucks. Lord Ribs. Okay, so the next song on the album is called Bloody Valentine. Bloody Valentine? Yes, Bloody Valentine. I was like, is it My Bloody Valentine? Nope, it's just Bloody Valentine. See, he does say My Bloody Valentine, so why didn't he just call the song My Bloody Valentine instead of just Bloody Valentine? Oh my god, my hair. From you tonight. Okay, so that was Bloody Valentine, and from what I could gather from the song, he's looking for real love. He doesn't want any of that fake love, but he'll take some fake love. But at the end of the day, he just wants to find some real love. Real, real, real love, real love, real love. Carly Rae Jepsen. But yeah, he's just like, girl, give me that real love. And I'm like, aw, okay, so we're progressing and wanting some real things. Okay. What was his name again? Is it Richard? Yeah, his real name is Richard. Okay, so the next song on the album is called Forget Me Too, featuring Halsey. And for a second there, I was like, ooh, didn't these two date? And then I was like, oh, no. She dated G-Eazy. And I'm like, my bad for mistaking Machine Gun Kelly for G-Eazy. Like, I feel like this would be a slow song, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm not gonna fall for it. This is probably gonna speed up soon. There it is. Ooh, their Marriage Story. Ooh. Halsey! This sound totally works for Halsey, to be honest. Her voice works for a lot of different sounds. Rude. Jeez, my hair be flopping all over the place because of this album. So that was Forget Me Too, and for me, this is one of the best songs on the album so far. When the bridge comes in, I'm just like, ooh. Not only are the lyrics great, but the production like really comes in hard, and I'm like, yes, love this. But yeah, the song I feel like is, pretty simple. They're like, you know what? If you don't like me, then forget me, and I'll forget you too. And it's like, him leaving before she wakes up and then her waking up being like, he left. I'm like, that sucks. That really sucks when that happens. Honestly, this sound works so well for Machine Gun Kelly, and I'm just like, girl, Halsey. Girl, I've heard Nightmare. You should have made an album like this instead of the album you made with, what's it called? Ashley? Is that the album that you released recently? Yeah, girl, that album is okay. Just kidding. it came to my mind. The album's not called Ashley. A song on the album is called Ashley. The album is called Manic. Yes, it's called Manic. And girl, you should have just made an album like this because it would have been hard-hitting. And you already had the song Nightmare, which you didn't put on the album, but you had the song 3 a.m., which was in tune with Nightmare, and which both songs are kind of like fitting into this genre that Machine Gun Kelly's doing, which is why, in short, I'm just like, Halsey, you should make an album like this because Machine Gun Kelly is killing it so far, and you would have killed it too if you made an album like this. The next song of the album is called All I Know, featuring someone called Trippie Redd. Girl, that's some clueless behavior. I'm surprised with how low-key the song is, to be honest. This feels very at me. So that was All I Know, and you know what? Very straightforward song. He's just like, girl, I don't know anything, and I'm just like, maybe you should learn some things if you don't know anything. But you know what? He's just like, I don't like what's going on here. Like, I don't like any of these girls. These people don't know what they're talking about. They're not actually saying anything. But you know what? At the end of the day, I'm probably going to end up with one of these girls. And yeah, I'm just probably going to be like those people who seem like they know what they're talking about, but really have nothing to say because they don't know anything. Because we don't know anything. And I'm like, ooh, okay. When, I think it was Trippie Redd, he was singing at a point and he was like talking about, I'm not really engaged in anything because I'm single, I'm alone. I was like, no, not you coming for me. Not you coming for me, guy. Okay, so the next song of the album is called Lonely. And I'm like, was this album made before or after he got together with Megan Fox? Because I'm like, how can you be lonely if you have her? But then again, this album seems to be more about him and his youth. So I don't really think that anything on this album is really talking about what he's going through now. In my opinion, I think. Right? Yeah, we finally getting like a true slow song or not? Are we talking about drugs? I feel like we're talking about drugs when he says that. Wow. So that was Lonely, and I was right. This album seems to be dissecting Machine Gun Kelly's earlier life, like the earlier part of his life. And with this song, he's talking about how his dad left him early, and I don't know how his mom died, but I'm assuming he's talking about the other person in the song. He's talking about his aunt, because he's like, my mom's sister picked me up, or something like that, or your mom's sister, something like that. And I was like, so he's talking about how he would want more time with both his dad and his aunt because he liked both of them a lot, but they both left him so soon. And I'm like, did they die or did they just leave you? Because if they just left you, that's sad, boo-boo. That's sad, and I feel sad for you. In fact, like, when I was listening to the very end of the song, when like it was archival footage of, I think, his dad talking about, like, Machine Gun Kelly's birth, I was like, this is sad. This makes me very sad. Like, low-key, Seriously, that chorus when he says, he repeats, lonely, lonely, even when the room is full, I would trade it all for you. And I'm like, okay. The next song on the album is called World War III, and it's very short. It's like a minute long, so let's see what he's going to be serving in that 1 minute. Okay. Me? Okay, so that was World War III, and I'm just like, so we're talking about being criticized and judged by someone? Are we talking about the media? Are we talking about someone in his life? Once again, if I'm going to go through this thread and thought that this is all about his younger life, then I'm going to say he's talking about someone in his life. And he's like, you know what, you may criticize me for all these things, but you never talk about all the good things I do. And I'm like, that's how it always is. Everyone forgets the good stuff. And I'm like, as long as the bad things you're doing aren't going to offset the good stuff, I'm like, then I would rather think about the good stuff. As long as the bad stuff that they're criticizing you for isn't that bad, The next song on the album is called Kevin and Barracuda, and it says it's an interlude, so I don't know. Is it going to be talking? Is it going to be vocals and instrumentals, or just instrumentals? We'll see. Oh, we're calling someone.
Yo. Okay, wait, Pete, before we start, can you just give me some beep boops, beep boop boop?
Davidson.
What? I'm like coming down off mushrooms, by the way.
Oh, that's great.
Okay. Oh, it's not.
Oh, is that Megan? Megan! Okay, so that was Kevin and Barracuda, and this clearly is gonna go right into Concert for Aliens, so I don't really have much to say about this interlude other than, yay, Megan Fox, let's, apologize to her for what we did to her because she deserves better, and I'm not that big of a fan of Pete Davidson, but, kind of makes sense that him and Machine Gun Kelly are friends, so, yeah, let's move on to the next song already. Oh, I've never heard that before. I'm calling. So that was Concert for Aliens, and that was a great song. I mean, I didn't really like the interlude, but it made sense to go into this song. But yeah, the lyric he says in here, that my life is a roller coaster, I'm like, yeah, we've all heard that before. But he says, now get me off of it, or something like that. He's like, I want to get off this roller coaster. Someone help me get off of it. And I'm like, ooh, yeah, I feel that sometimes you're just like, girl, I don't like my life. I don't like where I am. Get me the hell off this life. And I'm just like, it's a mood. It's a mood. And I love the line he says, I think before the chorus comes in first, the first time the chorus comes in, where he says, I might be immature, but at least I'm not a goddamn failure. And I'm like, ooh, 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 ooh. That's so true. I mean, as long as you're not a failure in life, it's like, who cares? And I'm like, yeah, you say that, you say that. The next song is called My Ex's Best Friend, featuring Black Bear. Ooh, they switched it up with the production, and I'm like, yes. So that was My Best Friend's Ex, and it was a pretty straightforward song, He was trying to hook up with his best friend's ex, and he was like, girl, I've never really felt or had love before, but now that I've had some from you, I can't get enough. And I'm like, ooh, wow. A saying. And then the other side of the conversation, Black Bear being like, girl, I can't even stand to see you. Is he talking about his ex or Machine Gun Kelly? Either way, he was like, I cannot stand to see you, what you've done, this ain't cool. And I'm like, ooh, the song, the lyrics and the production, I was just like, this is great. This is a great song. The next song of the album is called Jawbreaker.
This one is titled Jawbreaker.
I like that he introduced it like that. Yes. So that was Jawbreaker, and, I think it was a pretty straightforward song. A lot of these songs on the album are straightforward, but he was like, you know what? This girl I'm with, she's like a jawbreaker. She's sweet, but you know what? She's kind of hard at the same time to be with, I think, is what he's trying to say. But I was like, okay, this is cute. This is cute. Yeah. The next song is called Nothing Inside, featuring Ian Dior. Is that how you say the guy's name? I don't know. Yeah. Ooh. Not the low serotonin. Our serotonin levels need to be high, y'all, especially during now. So that was Nothing Inside, and you know, this song really was getting to me, like, on an emotional level, because he was like, you know what, I changed all for you, I did all these things for you, but when you look back at me, all you see is nothing inside, and it's like, yes, it's like when you give yourself to this person and you change for them and they don't, like, see anything in you, it sucks, but at the same time, it's like, they don't owe you anything, really. I mean, unless you're in like a very committed relationship, then I guess they would owe you. But I don't know. I'm just like, if she wasn't feeling it, she wasn't feeling it. And I'm like, it sucks and it hurts that you did all those things. But at the end of the day, it's like, if this wasn't that serious, then you can't blame her for being like, look, I see nothing in you. And it's like, it's not going to happen. I mean, sad, but you know what? That's just how it goes. The next song on the album is called Banyan Tree, and it's an interlude, so I'm expecting more talking.
Do you, like, remember this stuff that you do with me?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know, because you're so high, or, like, you get really drunk, so I don't know if you remember it.
Of course I do.
Interesting.
I cherish it.
He must be really drunk and high a lot if she's saying that.
I burn other memories just to make room for those ones.
We're right here, and I met you. That's not possible.
I root for them.
If you just got my initials tattooed on you, and I got your nickname tattooed on you.
Wow, tattoos. Serious.
Because also, if the world was coming to an end, I don't want to close my eyes without feeling like I lived.
Same.
Period. Okay, so that Banyan Tree interlude was super cute. I mean, I root for them. I don't know the age difference, and I don't really know. I think Megan Fox has a kid, and I'm just like, okay, we're gonna make this work, because I think they are so cute, and I'm just like, we're gonna make it work, even though apparently Machine Gun Kelly is high and drunk a lot, which, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I feel like, yes, you can do those things, but all the time, I mean, that really signifies to me that you're having a hard time being present in this reality. But you know what? I'm just like, I'm not gonna dig into that. Baby. So the last song on this album is called Play This When I'm Gone.
I'm writing you this message just so I can say that I love you. 29, my anxiety's eating me alive. I'm fighting
Anxiety
with myself, my
sucks.
sobriety every night. Last night, I'm gonna lie and tell you it's alright. It's alright.
Honesty. Who is this for, is my question. Because I feel sad. Does he have a kid?
I'm 29 and society's eating me alive. I wrote you this song to keep you when I'm gone. If you ever feel alone.
This is sad. So that was Play This When I'm Gone, and God, this was such a sad song, but also such a beautiful song. And I was like, who is this song for? And listen to the song, I was like, it sounds like he's talking to a kid. So I had to look it up, and apparently he has a daughter. And I'm just like, oh my God. And now, like, thinking about, like, the last song, I was like, man, not the last song, the last interlude, which I guess is a song, but whatever, the Banyan Tree interlude, when he was all, like, talking about how, I guess he wasn't talking about it, but it was recorded that, like, he does a lot of drugs and drinks a lot. And yes, throughout this whole album, he talks about those things, like, in depth. And I'm just like, it feels like you are having a hard time, like, staying in this reality and staying in this world. But, like, listening to this, I was like, oh, he really is addressing that. Yes, he has a hard time with his sobriety and all those things. And I was like, ooh, not this. And then him being like, I'm sorry if, like, I'm gone. And he's like, I made this for you just in case I'm gone. And I'm like, no. Seriously, he really brought us through a journey with this album from start to end. At the start of this, he was all like, row, 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 tickets to my downfall. And at the end, he was like, beautiful message. I'm sorry if I'm gone. Like, And I was like, whew. I'm like, Richard Baker, baby. Whew. Okay, with that, we finally reached the end of this album, and I gotta say, I was expecting all this album to be like, wow, 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 dun 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 the whole time, but there was a surprising amount of range and depth with this album, and I was like, ooh, okay, so I really did get to learn more about Machine Gun Kelly, aka Richard Colson Baker. So plain and so white, but yeah, I'm just like, I learned more about him, and I'm like, wow, so much interesting stuff. So apparently Machine Gun Kelly is 29 and Megan Fox is 34. So only 5-year difference. I hope they make it. I mean, they seem cute together, and I just hope Machine Gun Kelly is able to achieve his sobriety and all that. But you know what? I'm just like, ooh, I just hope good things for him and Megan. So, what were my favorite songs in this album? Well, it would basically be the whole album, because I think the album's a very cohesive album and it's very great. But you know what? Take out, what's it called? Kevin Barracuda and Jawbreaker, and, the other songs in this album, I love them a lot. But those 2 songs, I'm just like, I don't really vibe with them. One's an interlude, so I'm like, I should get a pass for not liking that one. But Jawbreaker, I feel like that one was too short and didn't have enough depth in it. So I'm just like, and it was just okay, production-wise. So I was like, that one can go. But everything else off the album, I'm like, you were amazing. But when it comes to a top 3 for this album, for me, it would have to be Forget You, also My Ex's Best Friend, and I think it would have to be Concert for Aliens being the 3rd one to round out my top 3 of this album, because that song really was something. I was going to say, instead of Concert for Aliens, I was going to say Lonely, because that's really hard-hitting. But you know what? Concert for Aliens, that's really great. And I'm just like, yep, deserves to be in that top 3 of the album for me. Okay, tell me down below in the comments what your favorite songs off this album were. And did you like this album? I mean, as I said before, I think this is a great album. It's very cohesive. And honestly, I could totally picture myself putting headphones on and listening to this album while I'm doing work, because it just blends in so good, and it will give me so much energy. So that's what I think about this album. So yeah. Okay, before I go, I'm just gonna say you should subscribe to my channel if you like album reactions. I also do movie reviews. I talk about Blu-rays, and I do whatever else I want to do on this channel, because you know what? It's my channel, so I'm gonna do whatever else I'm gonna do. So if any of that sounds interesting to you and you like my personality, then subscribe, because why not? It's free, and yeah. Okay, you guys, thank you for coming to my channel and watching this whole album reaction, and yeah. I will see you guys in the next video if you're here or not, Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go now, so, bye!